Hello and welcome. This is Warhammer with Sheeb. Sheeb here with another Warhammer Fantasy Battle Report. This time it's my Dark Elves versus Alberta's champion, Matt Reeson. He's bringing his vampire counts, and this is for Malorians. Battle Around the World, or whatever, challenge this month is vampire counts, and I'm super stoked to give, Alberta's champion a little taste of what the inexperienced Warhammer player, that is Warhammer with Sheeb, can bring to the Warhammer table. So from left to right, let's look at his army and my army. He's got 5 dogs, 40 ghouls, 10 zombies, 10, 15 zombies. He's got a couple characters, casters in there, 3 Terrorgeists. One of these Terrorgeists, this one right here, has the Strigoi Ghoul King on there. So 3 Terrorgeists, that's a lot of screams. I really don't know how to play this vampire army, so I am just going to kind of push it forward and see what happens. 8 Crypt Horrors, 10 Hex Wraiths, my side, 20 Executioners, just under 40 Corsairs, Cauldron of Blood in there with the Super Killy Witch Hag, 5 Dark Riders, 5 Warlocks, Repeater Bolt Thrower, who strategically I placed behind the forest so that he can shoot at nothing. You're seeing a hint of some Cold One Knights there. These are after Vanguards. I did Vanguard up these 2 fast cav. On his right flank, he has 5 dogs inside the house, which he Vanguarded up, prohibiting these guys from Vanguarding. 5 Warlocks, 5 Dark Riders, level 4 on a Pegasus, and I am rocking Dark Magic. That +1 to cast sounds pretty tasty. I've never given Dark Magic a shot. I have the cards, so I figured, let's go and we'll use it this game since I'm probably going to get stomped. Hydra, I haven't played with one of these in a while, and I really haven't played a game with my Cold One Knights, and since I have 16 of them, I really wanted to bring my Cold One Knights in a big bus, and just to see how much damage they can do. So, terrain, we got a couple hills, we got a forest here, Mysterious Monument, which turns out to be an Arcane Ruins, powering extra dice, with a chance to miscast, and a house that's level 2, and you can enter it. So, I get turn 1. Oh, by the way, the scenario was Dawn Attack. So, nothing was where we wanted to be placed. I for sure did not want my Corsair block and my Executioners on my left flank. But it is what it is. We all got deployed randomly. He conveniently got 3 Terrorgeists in the middle. So, I'm pretty sure he's going to be flying over here and landing and screaming at this Cold One Knight unit, which he is looking down on. So, Vanguard, first move, my Dark Riders up to shoot at some dogs. We have Warlocks 18 inches away for the Hex Wraiths because we need a couple Doom Bolts. Move my Executioners up, shimmy my Corsairs sideways because I really don't know how to handle this list and I don't know how bad I'm going to get stomped. So I'm actually kind of being really overly conservative this first turn, and I apologize because this is normally not my style of play, but I shimmy these guys over because I don't really know what to do. Realizing my Bolt Thrower was a stupid mistake to put them behind the woods. Doesn't manage to do anything all game, but it looked cool. And there we have the left flank coming up. Move my Dark Pegasus up here in the building. These guys don't move up. I think they just shoot at dogs. I cautiously move up the Cold One Knights, and I cowardly move back the Hydra a few inches because I know these 3 Terrorgeists are going to land somewhere around back in here and scream at this unit where I'm going to be out of his charge arc. So, I managed to do that, kill off a few dogs with my Dark Riders. Ghouls stare down the Dark Riders. Peter Bolt Thrower does nothing because it can't hit those guys worth beans. I attempt a Doom Bolt, but the Doom Bolt gets dispelled with a scroll. First turn. Alright, so here's my left turn. Vampire counts first turn. Ghouls charge Dark Riders. I make a hideously long flee and bounce through the Corsairs, kind of facing like that. What else happens here? I flee with my Warlocks because I do not want to lose these guys first turn. I have 5 extra turns of casting magic with them. He attempts to see if the Hectorus can see my Cold One Knight unit, and which you can't really see, but it is just here off to the side. We deemed that he couldn't see him, but he did roll to try and get in, and he failed to make it into my Repeater Bolt Thrower. And then he moves his Terrorgeist up, getting into a position to scream around this monument into this Cold One Knight unit, and I'm thinking, alright, here it goes. My Cold One Knights are going to get screamed off. 3 Terrorgeist is not anything to sneeze at. Anyways, but he forgot that his Strigoi Ghoul King actually has Frenzy, and he actually could make that Frenzy charge. So he had to make a Frenzy check. And Matt, being the player that he is, went back and rolled his Frenzy check and took back the move that he made with these Terrorgeist, because had he charged, these guys could not march as far, and therefore they were not in 8 inches of scream distance. But his Ghoul King came in and is going to wreck face with these Cold One Knights, I'm sure. In the magic phase, he tries to cast Wind of Death, and I dispel that. And then he does an invocation just to heal up a few more zombies, bring back some extra bodies on the table, which he didn't have before. The charge he comes in with some fury, and he managed to kill 1 Cold One Knight, and then he managed to kill 4 more. So I figured that's pretty good. I managed to sneak a wound on him though, so could be worse. And there's a look at after the top of the turn. We have some fleeing units, which will rally next turn, but there's an overlook of the board. They do rally, they turn around, start marching up. The Executioners making a charge attempt to the Ghouls, fail by 1, so they go up there. Corsairs march up, deciding to be a little bit more aggressive with them, because I need to get them into the battle, because it's not going to be much of a battle if I just sit back and watch my Cold One Knights die. I move up my Hydra here on the right, and I shoot at nothing again, because my bolt thrower can't hit anything at long range and through a wood. Alright, so I figured if we both stuck in combat, and we both, are going to be here a while, I might as well charge in my Dark Riders, just to get some extra combat res. Warlocks charge into the dogs. Pegasus flies behind the Crypt Horrors. This is a good place to cast some magic. And the Terror guys are right where you see them. So, in combat, he attempts to generate some extra power dice. He does, but he gets a miscast. And this is really the turning point of the game, him charging in here and getting that miscast, is he gets a small round template, which actually doesn't even hit any of my guys, which is fantastic. Wounds himself and the Terrorgeist, so bringing him down to just 2 wounds left. Pretty happy about that. I attempt another Doom Bolt. That gets dispelled. I do get a Hex on him, where I lower his weapon skill and ballistic skill D3, and I managed to bring him down to 1. Now this is what's going to really swing the combat. I had a successful magic phase, and we kill him. And it's fantastic, before he even gets to do anything. So I'm pretty stoked about that, and I wasn't expecting that. My Cold One Knights are still alive, and I just killed a general. And I know that's devastating for vampire accounts. So, alright, I could do this. Sheeb the noob, let's see how he does. Kills the dogs, no problem. Reform with my Dark Riders to face the Crypt Horrors. And here's a little bit of a look of what the left flank's looking like. And in his turn, his Crypt Horrors charge my Dark Riders, who flee through the woods and lose 1 to dangerous terrain. Which sucks, but what are you going to do? His Hex Wraiths charge into my Hydra. We remove the forest just because the trees didn't come off. Whoever made the terrain didn't make it modular. Anyway, so the Hex Wraiths come in to the front of the Hydra, and they're going to make short work of him. The Terror guys scream at the Pegasus Rider, and the Sorceress on top. She is rocking the Cloak of Twilight, and here we had some rules discussion about what the Cloak of Twilight actually can shield you from. The Cloak of Twilight says you're shielded from magic and shooting attacks. The Scream is done in the shooting attack phase, and it's kind of treated like a shooting attack, but it's not really a shooting attack. It's kind of like in the realm of like impact hits. It's just kind of like a special rule that just kind of happens in the shooting phase. So Matt, being the nice player that he is and being far more experienced, decided to give it to me, giving me a 3-up ward, which means my character would have lived, and that's good, or else she would have been dead right there, and that would have been pretty game changing, considering that she was my general, after repeatedly telling Matt, no, my general was on the cauldron, which actually was my battle center bearer, which could not be. But again, I attribute that to my being a noob and just not knowing some of the subtleties and not really knowing the list. I've been studying like crazy for my Canadian Securities exam, and Haven't really been paying too much attention to my Warhammer lists, and since this one is not something I normally bring, I was making all kinds of errors. So I apologize to you, Matt, and to you, the viewers. Anyway, so she lives the attack. Another Wind of Death, but I do not let him get Wind of Death off. I want no magical vortexes going around the board. And he does a 6-inch bubble heal, which actually raises a wound on each of the Terrorgeist back. So that's not good. After taking so many wounds from crumbling, they are so close to dying, but they're still alive. Hexwraiths overrun the War Hydra and crash into the side of the Cold One Knights. This is not going to go well because I have no magic attacks to deal with these Hexwraiths. Something definitely to think about next time I bring something into a tournament. Have some magical attacks. There we have the Terrorgeist screaming at the Sorceress, and she's getting out of there. Dark Riders go through some woods, lose another one to dangerous terrain, and they stare down at the ghouls, the Cryptors, who are ogres, and he took off the gut plate, and he has like little intestines coming out of some of them, and that is just fantastic. What a great way to, model up some Cryptors from an alternative model. It's a interesting concept, good idea. Good on him for doing that. Soul Stealer. Hey, it worked really well for me to kill his general. Let's try it again. Gets dispelled. Doombolt also gets dispelled. I was rolling like crazy, and he was rolling like poorly all the time, and we were pretty much dispelling everyone's spell attempts. I just had to 6-dice Doombolt every time. That's the only thing that really made a difference in the game. And as you can see here, the Hexwraiths make short work of the Cold One Knights. An overrun, we both rolled 9. He catches me, and he is like that inside the forest, but it doesn't really matter because he is ethereal. And there's a look at the right side of the board, and a look at the left. I make a long charge with my Executioners. It's not too long this time, but those double attacking ghouls with poison go to town and kill 9 of my Executioners, and I was shocked. I did not think that they'd be as hard-hitting as they were, but there it is. Dark Riders move up, Warlocks move up, Cauldron's there, moving up. Gonna get into charge range next turn. Alright, so what are we looking at here? Probably another failed bolt thrower shot at the Terrorgeist. I did manage to get one through. Actually, I think that was the time I got one through. But he had 2 wounds, and the other one had 2 wounds, and it just brought the one down to 1 wound left. And I flew my Sorceress behind them. We're going to play this cat and mouse game where I jump behind him, he jumps behind me. Here we have the Dark Riders facing down the Cryptors. I realize that this is really poor matchup since I can't hit them with shooting, and these guys are the best thing I have against killing them, and there's just far too few of us, and too many of them. So there's the Dark Pegasus coming around, trying to shoot them with magic. Can't do it. I don't let him get Wind of Death off. He charges my Warlocks and obliterates them. Too many poisoned attacks, and it was just not fun for them. Dark Riders decided to get out of there. Executioners are being destroyed, killing off another 6 of them. I need to get some guys into this combat to help them out. And then I decide to charge my Sorceress into the Terrorgeist if he's going to move them up here, and my Warlocks into the other Terrorgeist if he's going to move them up, bring me these easy charges. Maybe if I can't kill him with shooting or magic, let's try close combat. And there we have his zombies doing some swift reforming. Alright, Dark Riders harassing the Cryptors. Over here I bring my Dark Riders in to help out with this combat, give them some extra combat res and a little bit more of a combat punch. And the Corsairs with the Cauldron go to town on zombies and just slaughter them. Failed shot through the bolt thrower, through the forest, as you can see. Now, I should have done the combats in the reverse order, and this is just attributed to me being a noob. Had I done the Doomfire Warlock combat first with the first Terrorgeist, I could have overran and participated in the second combat with the Sorceress, who I was all excited about because she has the Cloak of Twilight with the Killing Blow. However, this Terrorgeist only has 1 wound left, and might have been overkill at that point, but anything's going to help. And you see the Corsairs have done the overrun. Wind of Death? No, I stopped that, and I stopped the bubble heal. He sacrifices his wizard, who gets pasted by the Cauldron's impact attacks, and they ram into the side of the zombies. The ghouls make short work of those Executioners, but not quick short work enough. There's 1 left and 3 Dark Riders, and that combat, they're sticking around. The Warlocks have fled through from the Hexwraiths through my own unit, causing panic, but the Battle Center Bear with the reroll, I make it. So there we go. We're having a pillow fight continue up here with Sorceress and the Terrorgeist. We can't hit each other. I only have 1 attack, and he just can't hit me. So we overrun into the zombies. We smack them. Ooh, I got a flank shot on the bolt thrower on the side of the cryptors, which is really good. The zombies are going to get pasted this turn. And we make short work of the ghouls. He kills the last executioner, but I kill all the ghouls, winning in combat res and him crumbling. Warlocks rally. There, I think, was the shot on the cryptors. It failed to wound. He saved it with his 6-up regen. And then, come on, he reforms the Hex Race. But here we go. Smack! Kill the zombies. Overrun to the side of the Hex Race. Now I realize, crap, I'm in combat with these Hex Race again, and I have no way of dealing with them. And my Sorceress had finally been defeated in combat. So it's not looking good, but we're getting close to the end of the turn. But I did have 2 rallied Warlocks up here, which can charge into the Terrorgeist. So I do. Since that is the best way for me to kill these Terrorgeists, I'm going to try it. We slam into their front. Try to get Soulblight off. Can't do it. I realized I get a whole bunch of combat res for having so many ranks, Battle Standard Bearers, and we just pop him. He manages to have 1 Hex Race left in combat, which he fails, or he kills himself after crumble. Terrorgeist was defeated by the 2 Warlocks, and the Dark Riders continue to dance around, and the Cryptors face me, so there's no more flank shots. And 1 Hex Wraith was left after crumble, but he died. And that's the end of the game. And here's a shot of the bystander's belly. This is not Matt. Matt's over here. But he was a cool chap who decided to watch and was intrigued at how the Dark Elves were actually surviving after coming back from such a, being down so much. But again, I can't complain. He practically lost the general like first turn. So when I say Dark Elves being down, he really had a disadvantage there. And Matt was nice enough to give me the Cloak of Twilight rules and to be kind enough to accept my mistakes for telling him my general was on the Cauldron, which was a Battle Standard Bearer, which is impossible. So overall, it was a really good game. I managed to get a major victory, which is a change for my style of play and my battle reports. Normally, I get crushing defeats, but this is all a learning curve, and I figure the more you play experienced players at Warhammer, the better you're going to become. So that's it. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.